The Bengals have taken 3 straight defensive players. Is it time to go offense? Let's talk day 3 of the 2022 NFL Draft. Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals Talk here at Paul Brown Stadium, where we've seen Zach Taylor and Lou Anarumo talk not about just the first round pick, not about just the second rounder, but the third rounder. 3 straight defensive players. Are we going to get the Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan on Saturday? Odds are we will. At some point, they're going to draft an offensive player. Will it be with pick 136 in round 4, which is their next draft selection? I think it could be. And let's start there. What could that position be? Tight end, offensive line. 2 major priorities for similar reasons. Lack of depth, lack of proven commodities. Hayden Hurst is their only proven tight end that can make a difference in the passing game. Will they go after one of these tight ends that is available? A Charlie Kohler is available. Daniel Bellinger. Will they go after one of those guys? I have a list of guys here. Let me pull it up. But Grant Calcaterra, they met with him. Isaiah Likely, they met with him. Cole Turner is someone that I've talked about them being interested in. So those are some of the tight ends I could see them, potentially being interested in. But at the end of the day, is that more important than addressing the offensive line? And I'm not going to get into it right now and whatever, but Jackson Carman, unproven. Deontay Smith, 4th rounder, and is working at tackle at the moment. You don't really know what Trey Hill is going to bring you. And so you have that left guard spot open, and you heard Zach Taylor. Yeah, they've invested money in the offensive line, and they added 3 new starters. Understand that. They invested draft picks in the offensive line last offseason. Understand that. There's question marks with those guys. And I would be confident in Deontay Smith, I think, of the group, the most confident, but they need to add somebody else. So who could it be? To me, and I'm not sure he's going to fall, and that's the problem, is they're picking at the end of the 4th round. But Jimmery Sawyer out of Georgia played tackle at Georgia, but is this big, just seems like plug-and-play type offensive guard. And I think he could come in, boom, play left guard right now. And so that's a guy to pay attention to. Obviously, they missed out on Linderbaum. Obviously, they missed out on Cam Jurgens. They were picked long before they were on the clock. 6 picks on Thursday night with Linderbaum, and then Cam Jurgens was picked 12 picks ahead of them by the Philadelphia Eagles in round 2, which understandable. But at some point, you need to get better on the offensive line. Another name to watch, Donovan West. I think he would make a lot of sense, could certainly compete for that left guard job. Maybe it's not in round 4, maybe it's in round 5 that they would get him. But now that they use their 6th rounder to move up 3 spots to get Cam Taylor-Britt, and I get it. I get you want to be aggressive. I also don't think they needed 8 new guys on their roster. That being said, they don't have that 6th round pick. And so when you look at their needs, I would say, well, you'd love to add a wide receiver, a tight end, an edge, and an offensive lineman. How are you going to do that? Are you going to be able to do that? Well, the 7th rounders, they're probably not making the roster anyway, let's be honest. So you count those 2 out. So now your 4th and your 5th rounders, those are the money picks. And you're going to have to hit them. And so if you want an offensive lineman that you think can compete, you're going to have to find it in 4th or 5th round. And that's what I'm banking on. And then as far as tight end goes, probably the same. So one of these areas you're going to look up and be like, well, damn, they didn't get the guy that I wanted or that you were hoping that they would get. And so will it or address the position that you were hoping they would address. So I think edge is probably outside looking in right now. They do have Joseph Osai coming back, Wyatt Hubert in the 7th round last year that they like coming back off of injury as well. And so they've addressed defense. To me, got to find a way to address the offensive line. And then depending on who's there at tight end, you could take the tight end, or maybe you go receiver. And maybe this is the Bo Melton area. Maybe this is you find a way to get Khalil Shakur out of Boise State, who's a really good return man. Justin Ross out of Clemson, who has all these medical concerns that it's caused him to fall down the draft board. But, man, he had really good tape as a freshman, and at some point you're going to want to take him. Maybe it's round 5 instead of round 4. I think Shakur makes a lot of sense, had some drop issues, but is 6 foot tall. or close to 6 foot tall, and 196, I believe. I'm doing this off the top of my head, but he's a return man. And that's what you want. You want some return juice. That's what the Bengals are looking for. So certainly they could work with someone like that potentially. And so maybe it is receiver and you just skip out on the tight end. Or maybe it's tight end, you skip out on the receiver. Bo Melton out of Rutgers, I think would be quite interesting, if he's still there. So they have some options. Ty Freifogel out of Indiana, if you're talking about one of the 7th-round picks, I think he's interesting. Samori Toure out of Nebraska. They've met with him a couple of times. Wouldn't be shocked if they're in on him. That's probably a 7th-round type guy as well. I'm trying to think of other guys. There's an Arizona State defensive back that I could see them being interested in. I believe it's Jack, and I'm forgetting his last name. But point is, there's a lot of guys like that they could still target in the 7th round. But the money picks, the picks where they could find guys that could potentially contribute as rookies, it's down to 2. And it's going to be hard to do. But if you can get a Jeremy Salyer in round 4, sign me up. Kingsley Enagbare, he's an edge rusher, and I get it. I just rolled out edge. But if he's there at 136, quite interesting if you could get him on board. So there's options, good options, but they're dwindling. And we're going to have you covered every step of the way right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. By the way, make sure you get to rivertowninquiry.com. Check out Rivertown Inquiry. Doug and his crew do a great job. And look, I know it's pig weekend, flying pig weekend in Cincinnati, but if you're watching all across the country, like I know a lot of you have been, and thank you so much for doing that, go to rivertowninquiry.com, get you some Cincy swag. And if you're in town right now for the Flying Pig Marathon, get up there, Madison Avenue, 10 minutes from downtown, and check out Rivertown Inquiry on Madison Road in Oakley. So, look, day 3, here we go. Buckle up, ready or not. I'm going to have a ton for you at allbengals.com. We're going to update you throughout the day here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Also, check out the Locked On Bengals podcast. We'll do grades. We'll do all of that. We have an exclusive coming up with Dax Hill as well, and we'll drop that after the draft gets done. Don't want it to get buried right now with everything we're doing. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and refresh anyways, because sometimes we're not going to be able to notify you with some of these videos because of all the news conferences. So stay tuned. We're going to bring you the best Bengals coverage on day 3 of the draft. Hopefully we've done that on day 1 and day 2. Hopefully you think that's the case. So for Andrew Fox-Miller, our channel coordinator, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk at Paul Brown Stadium.